Here it is, the PPE 10L80 transmission cooler. This thing is a beautiful piece right here. I absolutely love this. Once I opened up the box, I was just amazed. It's much thicker, it's taller, it's just higher quality in every which way, and it definitely has mega amounts of surface area to start cooling. So they want you to reuse the factory fittings. But in my case, I went ahead and bought some new fittings to toss in there. So here's the new fittings right here in case you were also interested. Here's a part number. Super easy to swap. You can use your old ones or you can use new ones. It's entirely up to you. So we're going to start off with taking the intake air splash shield off. That's just held in by push-in retainers. The lever for the hood needs to be removed. That's just some Torx, 2 Torx. Those come right off. Taking this off is super easy. This is going to allow you access directly to the trans cooler itself. So then we're going to move on to the intake air duct. And here I'm only going to slightly move it, but it needs to come all the way out, so take it all the way out. But there's one line going in right here. This is the passenger side. And then there's one more line right over here. And those are held on by just little fittings. There's a closer look to hopefully get you to see. But in person, when you're looking at yours, you can definitely see a little bit better. You can see the duct is still there. You're going to need to pull that out because I learned that before. So here's the fitting itself. There's a little locking ring on there. And what I have is just a little 90-degree pick. And I just kind of pick at the edge of it and just roll it off like that. If you drop it into the front grill area, it's gone forever unless you have some massive good luck, but this clip is not that large. That's why I recommend you just get some new fittings and put them on there. Then you have some extra retainers. Here's another example, just kind of just rolling it up to get it out. And it just clips into place. You're going to need to clip it back in before you install your line back on there. All right, so we're back at the truck. I wanted to make a special note on this because this line was incredibly difficult to get out. I was wiggling and wiggling. It's in there super tight, mainly because of the angle that the line is. It kind of curves around and then back in towards the radiator, which creates just, it's a bad angle. So prepare yourself. You're going to be fighting with this for a little bit. Just work it free. Don't puncture your condenser. Use 2 hands. Don't use one to hold the video camera. So here's our comparison. You can see the size difference between the two. I mean, it's clear, right? Like, look at the fins. You can see the airflow is going to be flowing through a whole lot better. They're just larger. It's much thicker in mass. I mean, just night and day difference. And like I said, this is a direct bolt-in. There's nothing else you need to do except for remove the old one, install the new one. All the bolt holes line up, the lines line up. So I pulled off these strut supports right here. That just helped me get the cooler in because it was larger than the factory unit. You're also going to need to pull off the hood latch here. I marked it with tape so that way I can go right back where it was. And that just helped me on reinstallation. But there's a lot of room in there now, and that's what you need for this giant cooler. As you can see, here it is in place. Sits nicely. So always double check these lines, double, triple check. You want that completely tight. And back to this line. This line was a chore. So I had to go around to this side where the fan shroud is and pop the line off from there. And I was holding it while trying to push it into the cooler. It was super difficult. I tried to install it without the clip in. I tried it with the clip in. Ultimately, to get this to fit in there, I clipped the line into the fitting and then threaded the fitting into the trans cooler. It was a chore. It's the angles. They're just super tough to work with, but it can be done. And make sure you slip this black lock over, and that'll hold that ring in place and make sure everything is tight and secure on there. You don't want anything popping off. So here it is all finished up. Flashlight for better visuals because it was a little tough to see. There's where I popped it off the fan shroud. Look at this cooler. This cooler is absolutely amazing. It's huge. It's mega huge. And just for giggles, that's your cooler for your intercooler. So that's going to cool the coolant going in to the intercooler. But here's the finished product. Everything is bolted back up, as you can see it in there. It takes up the whole space. Nothing wasted. Everything phenomenal. I don't know. I just like this angle, how you can just see the logo in between the grill. I mean, nobody knows it's there. It looks factory until you see that little PPE logo. All right, here's just showing some more of my PPE parts on there. We have the splash shield back on and another sneak peek into the cooler itself. Now what we need to do is go for a test drive, and I'll let you know how I feel about this. My overall impressions of the trans cooler are that it's pretty darn awesome. I mean, the trans temp is to the left, and this is after my whole trip, my daily driving. I drive a lot of stop and go as well as mixed with the freeway highway. And so right now I'm getting into the highway stretch where I'm just cruising. And this is where I'll see the temperature come down, when before it would climb up to 192 to 200 or so, and it would just kind of stay there and not come down. And with the new cooler, it definitely comes down as I drive. And it varies with airflow, obviously, so that's how you could tell that it's working, because when you're in stop and go, you're going to be increasing the temperature. That's just the way that it is, unless the fan comes on and it pulls air through. But if you're just cruising right along, after a few minutes of driving, you'll start to see the temperature actually start to come down, and it actually just clicked down right now. And we've just kind of been cruising at this steady speed. I'm going to make a turn up here, and then I'll be able to just do 55 consistently, and that'll provide more airflow. But I was 192 to like 200, 205 by the time I got home, and that's just normal driving. That's normal hot weather, summertime driving. And immediately after installing this cooler, I noticed that I was sitting in 170s. Sometimes I even saw 160s by the time I got home. It's quite remarkable at what it can do, and I believe it would do tremendous on just towing. If you're towing and you want to take care of your transmission, this is absolutely a good option to add on there. It wasn't that much cost-wise and labor-wise. It's anybody can do it in their garage with obviously what I showed you, that you could do it. It fits right in there, bolts right into place. But yeah, let's I'll end this video with my ending temperature. But as you can see, it's consistently going down now that I'm just cruising right along, and we'll probably touch 172. We may even hit 170. But yeah, that's it. You can see it working right now. You've seen it drop. It works. Get you one.